Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Better Man Show, where I share my journey with both men and women who would like to become better versions of themselves, right? It is actually my journey on becoming a better man, and I welcome you to join me on my journey. Hi, I'm BK, and obviously, if we are friends, you will know that. But if we are not friends, don't be a stranger, and feel free to follow me on Facebook or wherever I happen to pop up in on your radar, right? So I'm also testing out this platform, and I've mentioned it in the live stream before that I am also testing out the various live stream platforms, and also in a few days' time, hopefully, I will give an overview of what works very well for me, at least for my use case. So drop a comment, tell us what platform you're on, because I'm actually now live on a few besides Facebook and YouTube. I've also testing on some other platforms as well. So if you happen to be there, just drop a comment and let me know where you are watching me from. Okay. So tonight, quick one, because we just finished another meeting. So just a very quick one. One last thing I forgot. This is highly, highly important. Those of you who have watched my show, you know this. This is highly, highly important for me. Woohoo! Day number 36 is exactly 36 days ago. I started a 100-day live stream challenge that some friends have called me crazy for doing it. Well, it was inspired by a person called Andy Frisella, who has another thing called the 75 Hard Challenge. Please go and check him out. Quick shout out to him. But this is a 100-day live stream challenge that I've started exactly 36 days ago. So this is now day number 36. And like one of my friends said the other day, I am now more than 1/3 of the way through. So pretty exciting, pretty fun. It's been a journey. It's been a blast. It's been a lot of learning, and also thank you everyone for comments, for feedback, for private messages, and so on, right? We have also over live, in real life conversations, friends have given me feedback as well. So thank you one and all. Okay, so tonight I am going to repeat, or I'm going to continue on finding content for your live stream, because some friends actually gave some, I mean, they said, hey, I actually liked what you said yesterday, and they wanted to know more about what, where they can find content, because some of my friends are honestly thinking about doing something like this, and please go ahead. I encourage you to jump right in and do it, right? Because definitely something you can share with the world is going to help the world. So, but just to recap some things that we talked about yesterday. Number one, more than content, you actually should worry more about your audience. So who is your target audience? Who are you trying to speak to? And the content is actually not that critical. Yes, it is important, but it is not the most important. In fact, just like what happens here, right? When I first started, there was no titles. Then it became a 10 p.m. show with BK, because we start at 10 p.m. every day. And then some friends started to say, hey, why don't you have a stronger thematic focus, which was always on my mind. But when I started this challenge, I just wanted to get it going first. The idea is that a lot of times we don't take action. So get it going first, and then slowly it evolved into this, right? So where I share my journey on becoming a better person myself, and it is relevant for both men and women. And even if you're a young person, I would strongly, in fact, one of my other episodes, I kind of talk about the fact that I wished I knew some of the things I know today when I was in my teens even, or 20s, right? So I'm almost half a century old, so late to the party, but never mind, never too late to start. So your audience is quite key. So think more about who your audience, or who is your target audience, and then you kind of know, because the whole objective of a live stream is for you to connect with your audience, right? Especially if you are doing it for a marketing or sales perspective, you're trying to promote your business, your company, and so on. Then you kind of need to know, right? Because you're trying to connect with your team. I mean, with your audience, or your target audience. So more important than content is your audience. So that's one. Remember that, okay? And the second thing I kind of mentioned yesterday as well was the fact that, and I'm demonstrating it exactly the same now, is that you don't have to worry about repeat content, because As much as we would like it, it is likely unrealistic and unreasonable to expect that your audience would be catching every single episode from start to finish every single day, right? It's not going to happen. So some people will hop on and catch maybe a little bit of the front, maybe a bit of the middle, and then a bit of the end. And some they catch today and they miss tomorrow, and then another few days, right? So it is perfectly normal and perfectly fine to repeat some of your content, because some people would obviously not catch the earlier episodes when you mention the same things. And in fact, once you figure out your audience, sometimes it might be necessary to repeat your content. And like I said, I'm doing it now. I'm doing the exact thing that I advised yesterday, right? So it is perfectly fine to repeat it, and do not have to worry that you are repeating your content. It's not like you have to be original all the time. Otherwise, it's going to be challenging. And the reason why I'm repeating this advice is because probably one of the biggest obstacles that stops a lot of people from starting a podcast, a live stream, or a blog is that they worry that they have to constantly find new content, and they are worried that they cannot. And of course, it is a challenge to always find new content, right? So if you understand this portion now and realize that you do not have to have 100% brand fresh new content every single episode, then I think you can breathe a sigh of relief and say, oh, okay, I can do that. And if that helps you to start your live stream challenge, I think I've done my part. So just remember that it's perfectly fine to repeat your content. Okay. Now, so tonight I'm going to share another avenue for where you can find content. And perhaps it's quite relevant to me, or maybe also relevant to some of you listening. And you will be quite shocked to realize what this place is. And that is the dictionary. Yes, let me say that again. You can find the dictionary is a great source of content for your live streams. I am formally trained in linguistics, English language and literature. That's my training, but please don't judge me for my grammar now. I know it's been many years since I left school. But I have always been very fascinated by etymology, which is the origin of words, And I was just listening to a podcast, an Audible today, this morning, and one of my favorite mentors was talking about, it's actually quite fascinating that, did you know that there is a major difference? He actually classifies human people into two kinds or two groups. And the main difference is between these two groups of people. The very small percentage of people who would actually look up words in the dictionary when they come across words that they do not understand, versus the overwhelming majority of people who do not, right? So he was saying that he used to fall in the former and the latter category of people who do not look up words. But as he started to embark on this personal development journey, he also started to become one of the minority, a very small minority of people who start to actually look up words in the dictionary. So tonight, well, maybe you could tell me, do you look up words in the dictionary when you spot a word that you do not understand, or you just let it go? You might be surprised that this small little change of starting to look up words that you have come across that may not be, might be unfamiliar, seemingly unfamiliar to you, might take you on a different journey towards personal development, right? So be one of the minority, right? So that's why I wanted to talk about the dictionary as a source, because one of the good things about dictionary is that they actually also can give you the etymology, which is the origin of the words. And tonight, today, basically this morning when I was listening to him, he kind of talked about this word called character, right? And the interesting word, the interesting part about the word character, which is obviously part of the journey if we want to be a better person, right? Is derived from the Greek word, which means to chisel, okay, to chisel, or is a mark left by a chisel. So for example, if you have a piece of granite or marble, you are trying to carve out a statue or a carving or a sculpture, if you're a sculptor, and then you go to work on that piece of marble and then you start to chisel, right? So it's fascinating when you think of it that way, right? Because when that, it just means that character is what is truly, truly inside you. But sometimes you need to kind of chisel away or chisel at the rough edges or the unnecessary portions before you reveal the true person that you can truly be inside you, right? And of course, with a master sculptor, every precise and planned and determined stroke of your tools, it actually kind of creates the beautiful sculpture that will emerge from it. In fact, as I share this now, I'm reminded of another book that I have recently listened to as well. It's called The Angel Inside by Chris Widener, which is a conversation between an old man and a young person, and they are talking about the statue of David, right? The wonderful David statue that is been, they always say that it's a marvel of modern sculpture, right? So if you are interested, do have a listen as well, because that is also a very fascinating audible and talks about how we can become better people, right? How we can become better people. So it's interesting, right? That you could find all areas and all places that can be inspiration for your live streams. And tonight I'm demonstrating one, which is the dictionary, right? Which is the dictionary. So don't be put off by the act of having to find fresh content all the time. Like I said, it doesn't have to be fresh all the time. You can repeat content. And many times the content that I do talk about on live stream is basically a sharing of what I have learned, what I have experienced in the day, right? And then I'm just sharing it out. Like this live stream, in many ways, is kind of like a video journal for myself. And if you catch another episode earlier on, I talked about this live stream has also enabled me to kind of flesh out what are the 3 things that I would like to be known for at the end of my days, right? So there's a very good, interesting benefit from doing this live stream. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Don't worry about fresh content. Go for it, right? And if you do want to know a list of resources for this, just PM me for a list of resources where you can find content. I'll be happy to send them your way, right? A PDF of the resources that you can use to do your live streams. And once again, all the friends who have kind of very subtly said, hey, I actually thinking of doing the same thing as what you're doing, don't wait. Go for it. I'll be there to support you. I'll be there to listen to your and watch your live streams as well. Just let me know when you go live. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say tonight, right? Another interesting source of content for your live stream is the very lowly, very humble dictionary, right? Because if you look at the etymology of words, it's actually very fascinating. So thank you for joining me. I see you tomorrow for day number 37.